Okay, so we'll turn the time over to Sister Sorensen.
Okay, so let me just start this show here. And we'll be in business. And can you see that now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So today's class is called Digging Deeper into the Research Wiki. And we've talked about basic searches and other kinds of searches for research tools, research resources, and things. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit more esoteric part of the wiki that maybe not as many people could just figure out on their own. Oh shoot, I'm sorry, I escaped. That was not what I wanted to do. Okay, so let me just start again by reiterating what the FamilySearch Research Wiki is. It's a source on the FamilySearch site that contains information for doing genealogy research. It has research tools, guidance, resources. Genealogists can also go on to the Research Wiki and become contributors to share knowledge with each other and other users of FamilySearch. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So how do you get there? You can just type wiki.familysearch.org into the address bar of your browser and it'll take you to the home page. If you're already signed into familysearch.org, you can just click the search, look for on the menu Research Wiki and click on that and then go. It'll take you to the home page. And you can also create a bookmark on your own browser so that you can just access it whenever you want to. Now today we're going to talk a little bit about some different things. We've kind of mentioned before the category searches. There are several different filter terms that Wiki uses to categorize or make a taxonomy of things. A taxonomy is a means of classification for the subjects that are used in like a dictionary or encyclopedia or something like that. But for this particular encyclopedia, the Wiki, these are some of the filter terms. These are the main ones. I don't know if there are any others that I haven't found, but they're category, help, FamilySearch Wiki, image, file, and template. Now, not all of these are all that helpful. Image, file, and template can be helpful if you're looking for a particular picture or if you're a contributor. But for the just normal user, the two that are most important are actually the category search and the help search terms. So how to use a filter term? You can search with filter terms by putting the filter term and then a colon afterwards. You don't have to use a space. The next thing you would put in is what specific topic or location you're looking for under that particular filter term. So for example, category, colon, education opportunities. Today, we're going to mainly discuss the category term, which is to me the most useful term. Some things will come up without using the category filter term. Others, you have to have the category filter term. So I usually use that if I'm pretty sure that's in the category. We'll also look at some other searches using some of the other terms, and we'll look at some pages that are just kind of interesting or that you might not have thought about looking for. So the first thing we're going to discuss is using the category filter term. The first thing to know is that you can actually find a list of all the wiki categories that the Wiki administration has put together so that people can, when they contribute, know where to put their contribution. So the way you find that is you search wiki categories and it will bring up a list, and you can see it on the right here. It says a sample of the list. That's the list of a partial list because I had to cut it off of all the articles, all the categories that are available to search under that particular term of category. Not all of these particular categorical headings have articles or content attached to them. So if they don't, then you know, maybe you could contribute something if you know about it. The links on the category page also are not external links, so they don't take you to a particular page. They take you to whatever's on that particular page that you're on, the category page. So the list items have to be manually searched in the actual wiki search box. But as you'll look, the blue arrow says articles by location there. I'm pointing at that. And then when you go below that, you can see, picture out of the way here a little bit. You can see that it will take you to the page, the part of this page that's Americas. So countries in Central America would be one of the categories that you could search under, and you have to search under that manually. And when you search under that manually by typing in category colon title, which is countries in Central America, then it comes up with a list of the subcategories that are in that particular category, and also all the pages that are in that particular category. And then you can, from this page, you can actually go, the links will take you to the correct page. Now, the main list does not have every single topic that you'll find under a category search. It just has the categories. So if you search under those main topics, the search will bring up other lists that will be helpful and that can take you to other articles under that category. You can under, for example, FamilySearch historical records. If you type that category in, you would find a whole big, huge list of subcategories, and you can go by to the alphabetical letter and find different links there that you can go to for historical records. For example, this is another example. If you looked under religions, you would find Bible records. You would type that in manually, category Bible records. And these are the pages, some of the pages that are in the category Bible records. It tells you how many pages are in each category, or how many subcategories if there are subcategories. If you just type it into the search bar, it will often bring up a list of things that you might find useful or interesting as well. So if I typed in category birth, marriage, divorce, and death, it brings up that page. It says there's a page named that on the wiki, but then you can see underneath that page, there are other places that have that, that are in that category that might be useful, that you wouldn't have to necessarily look up from the page itself. If you want pictures and images on that category page, there is a section called images, and you can search for those under category colon images or category, a subtopic of the image subheading. So in this, I marked image maps. So you would search category image maps, and then it would come up with the subcategories. I clicked on Arkansas maps, and it comes up with this category Arkansas maps page, and there's just the one page there. So then you would just click on that. But the interesting thing about this is it also brings up all the pictures that you'll find in that particular category. So oftentimes they will have the media that's in the category. So if you click on one of those pictures, you can look it up either under the file, or you can click on the picture. If you look it up under file by that name, this is what will come up. If you click on the pictures, though, they will come up on an image viewer. So you can actually look at the image in a larger format and see the actual image there in that category without necessarily having to go to the Arkansas page. Just a little aside. Okay. So here's another example of, this is a really good one. It's category education opportunities. And if you look that one up, you can click on any of the links on that category education opportunities page, and you'll find a lot of different places that you can go to learn about genealogy, more about how to do genealogy, or more about genealogy and itself. It'll also take you to some training pages and so on, and some colleges. If you search Family History Library classes and webinars, it will bring you to this page, and it will show you all the Family History Library in Salt Lake's online classes for the next 3 months. You can click on those and there's a big list below that will show you what the Family History Library in Salt Lake is doing. And they do a lot of really good webinars and classes as well as ours. Another one that's really good is webinars and online classes from outside of FamilySearch. And this is a whole big table. This isn't the entire table of different places online that have webinars that are educational about genealogy. So I would really say it's a good thing to check that one out. Another one that you can look at is the National Institute for Genealogical Studies. The Family History Center does a lot of collaboration with the National Institute. I could not find anywhere on the wiki an actual list of articles that have been reproduced in the wiki from the National Institute, but there are a lot of them, but they just don't have like a list that says which ones come from the National Institute. But if you put National Institute into the search bar, it will bring up a list of ones that have that, a list of pages that have the National Institute there. And you can maybe look on some of those pages. The interesting thing about it though is that at the bottom of the page, when there is a National Institute article or things that have been taken from the National Institute, it tells you that it was excerpt from the National Institute for Genealogical Studies, and it tells you what courses actually that particular subject that is in that page goes along with. And the National Institute gives a lot of courses that you can take about genealogy. So you can see right there how many interesting things there would be to learn from that particular methodology course, for example. This is just their web page that you can look it up yourself. It's the National Institute for Genealogical Studies. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is just a few other educational pages. I got onto educational opportunities and thought, hey, this is so cool. I'm going to look at some other stuff. So there's some other pages that aren't necessarily on that category page, okay, that you wouldn't find if you looked it up. So one is Roots Tech. So you can search category Roots Tech. Actually, Roots Tech now has its own web page. So the wiki doesn't include very much right now. It only includes the ones, some of the information that was in 2011 to 2016 conferences. But those are kind of nice to look at for archived information under those years. But I would suggest just going to the Roots Tech webpage and see what they have there too. Another one is the family history related podcasts. There's a lot of podcasts out there. This is only some of them that you can look up online and listen to. There's some, actually, if you look under Google, you'll find quite a few family history podcasts. FamilySearch has its own podcast. And now I've forgotten what it's called. Sorry, I can't remember. I will see if I can remember before the end. Another thing you can do is search Learning Center. Now, the FamilySearch has a really amazing Learning Center, and the wiki, it's not really part of the wiki, but you can find it by going to the wiki and searching Learning Center or classes in the Learning Center. It'll come up with this page on the left, which has a link to the Learning Center. Once you get to the Learning Center, you'll be on that little blue page there where it says Learning Center. And then the other thing that you'll find on the wiki, however, is classes in the Learning Center. So it will tell you what classes there are available. And you can see, here you have, for the very first one is Intro to Reading Dutch Records, which is Daniel Jones, who's he's in the Salt Lake Center, and he's really good with Dutch and German. So I would definitely look at that, classes in the Learning Center, and then you can click on any of those classes and it'll take you to it. There are 2,118 classes available in the FamilySearch Learning Center. So that's amazing. Okay, so another one to search is category baby steps. There's kind of a little baby steps That's kind of a program that someone has done that's really pretty good, actually. So I would look that up if you're, especially if you're kind of a beginner. And if you look up template, baby steps, continuing education, it'll give you some more information of where to go for more classes and things like that. So this is mainly for people who are interested in learning more about how to do genealogy in general. But I would suggest that anyone who really wants to do their genealogy well, you need to have a really good background in genealogy. You can do it without doing all these classes and things like that, but you will be so much happier if you learn how to do it in a very step-by-step way, or in a way that's more that other people have developed, so that you can do it the best way that you possibly can without wasting any of your time. Another one is search category family history centers. Of course, the family history centers are all over the world. We have them, as you can see, in Albania and Austria and Jamaica. They're everywhere. So if you click on category family or search family history centers, it will come up with all these subcategories, which are the family history centers themselves. And each of these has their own page, so you can click on it and go to that particular page. It's really interesting. A lot of times they'll do things, they will do classes or little seminars on local genealogy questions. So even if you're not from that place, you can click on, like if you have Albanian ancestors or Argentinian, you can click on that page and see if they do local things. You can also email them or call them on the telephone and ask them questions about those local things that they may be able to actually answer you, those questions that you might have about places that you can't get to. So I would suggest really utilizing the family history centers. Here's one, for example. This is actually under its own category, United States Family History Centers. When you click on the Florida Family History Center, it comes up with this page in that particular category. So even Florida has its own category because there's so many of them there. When you click on the Tallahassee, Florida Family History Center, you've got all these things on their page. This is just their page. The center hours, the center resources, what collections, databases, hardware, equipments, what services they offer, how you can volunteer there if you're from Tallahassee, and so on. So they're just such a great resource. I think people sometimes think if they don't have one right close that they can't use them, but you can. You can still call people, you can email them, and so on. Another one that's really good is to search for popular social networks for genealogy, for blogs, for forums. You can see here groups, message boards, and so on. Podcasts are on that particular page as well. And another one is to search for, oh, that kind of went funny, search online classes with or without a location. So many of the country pages will have this on there. If you search without a location, it will show you all the online classes that come up in that category, or you can search with a location and come up with a specific one. So these are the ones that are found in the Learning Center for Germany. So it kind of makes them a little bit more specific. Another one is webinars. You can search for webinars and find all kinds of webinars that are not necessarily associated with FamilySearch or the FamilySearch centers. For example, this one comes up with Illinois State Genealogical Society webinars. So there are a lot of people that do webinars and podcasts outside of the family history libraries that FamilySearch does. Okay, this one is the help. No, I put search, but it's the filter term. Help filter term. So this is actually kind of helpful if you want to learn a little bit more about how to use the wiki. So you can search help, search the wiki, help navigation basics, help searching for an article, help wiki basics. And there are also other topics that help options. So those are the ones that are more general, these 5 that I would suggest using. if you want to learn more about the wiki itself. Here's help options. And if you click on begin your genealogy research, it will take you to articles that will kind of teach you how to do genealogy if you're pretty much a beginner. If you click on the, if you click on the search for articles in the FamilySearch Research Wiki, that will take you to articles about the Research Wiki, as well as how to do, how to use the Research Wiki. And then the last one is what we're going to talk about for a second, edit and contribute to the FamilySearch Research Wiki. So if you want to actually become a contributor to the Research Wiki, you can, and that help options will help you to be able to do that. So if you want to contribute, you can, but you have to register. So why would you register to become a contributor? If you're just a user of FamilySearch, you don't have to register to search for articles, of course. You don't have to register to report a problem with the wiki. Like if you come across something that doesn't work or that's is wrong, you don't have to register to add links. You can add links to outside sources, or you can add information that is on that isn't in a wiki article that you've read that is available or that you have information for. However, if you want to edit a page, if you want to add new pages or write articles for the wiki, if you want to upload images and files to other pages that are already existing, if you want to work on projects that the wiki community does, or if you want to communicate with other contributors through talk pages or through the community, then you do have to register. It's very easy. But you can contribute without becoming an actual contributor. So you can give feedback by submitting wiki content or reporting a problem. That doesn't mean it's an article, just information or a link, okay? So this little box above there, it's actually the navigation menu on the left-hand side of any wiki page. So when you're on the wiki page, if you look, there's like a gray box. And this is one of the little boxes on that navigation box that comes up with every wiki page. And if you click on one of these, then you can contribute without being a contributor if you have information or dead links or problems like that. This is how you do it. So you click the link in the navigation box, for example, submit wiki content, and it will take you to that page. You can also search this under the topic, the filter search FamilySearch Wiki. Submit wiki content, but you do have to have that content, FamilySearch Wiki filter on there. It won't take you to it. Submit wiki content, and then you're going to click on that little blue thing that says form to submit wiki content. So you click on that, and then this form will come up. You fill in the form with your email address, which you have to have, and then you have to put down your information that you want to add, like if it's a link or if you have some information that you've gleaned that would be helpful for a particular page. So you give the page that you want to put it on, and then the geographical location that the information is about. Okay, then it will go to the volunteers in the Family History Center in Salt Lake. They will look at your information. They'll make sure it's not already there somewhere, and then they will approve it and add it if they find that it's useful or something that they think is good to be on the wiki. If you want to just report a problem, you click on the link in the navigation box again, report a problem. You cannot search for this form. It's not like the other one. You can't search under FamilySearch Wiki and find it. The only place you can find this is on that left-hand navigation box. Fill in this form, which is almost like the other one. You have to have your email. You have to then put the name of the wiki article that you see the problem on, the section of the wiki article that you see the problem on, if there is a section, the URL of the wiki article, and then exactly what it is that you think is wrong with that article. And if you see something that's inaccurate, don't hesitate to tell the people about it, because they'll do the same thing. They'll look at it, they'll fix it, and then they'll put it back in the wiki the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so they also, that navigation box on the far left-hand side of all the wiki pages also have links and tools that are just for contributors. So if you want to be a contributor, these will be important links for you. The first one is become an editor. That's how you do it actually. Upload file or image. So if you become a contributor and you want to upload a file, that's how you'll do that. Then it has a personal sandbox, which is sort of like a working file for you personally. Wiki projects is where you can go to work on things that the wiki's working on, and the Wiki University we'll talk about in a minute. Those tools are also for people who are contributing. I'm not going to get into those right now. So if you want to become a wiki editor, you start the registration process by clicking on that link in the left-hand navigation box, become an editor. And then this page will come up, help, wiki rules of editor and page creator. You have to request to do this. You can't just do it. So you go to that page and you read through this page, and it will tell you, give you a lot of information about how to do this. It will give you a request to edit the English wiki, and you'll fill out the form. It's not just this one page, it continues, but this is the form that you'll fill out. And again, you need an email address, and they'll get back to you within a couple of days regarding whether or not they're going to give you editing status. It shouldn't be a problem for most people, I would suspect. And then once you are an editor, or they give you permission, there's a lot of things that you can do to learn about how to do it. So that, again, go back to the wiki categories and go to the section Wiki Help. And search under the categories listed there for information. Again, you're going to have to do manual searches on those, especially look up category how to contribute to the wiki. You can see that's under contributor help there. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to use if you want to do this editing is the Wiki University. It's very helpful. It's a tutorial, so it takes you step by step by step by step, and you can see this is only part of the chapters. There are quite a few chapters in it, and each chapter gives you information and then a little bit of just a little bit of a quiz kind of a thing, a little exercise that kind of helps you solidify in your mind what the lesson taught you. So it's up to date. They keep it up to date, and it's really easy to use. You can also search with the tag help, wiki help, for more information, just general information, or you can also search for help if you're a contributor. Most of these are for contributors, but you can also look under that tag if you want to just get some help with the wiki. If you want to become a contributor, though, it's really pretty cool because there's a wiki community and they do projects, and you can get involved in those projects by searching get involved in wiki projects. And you can see, doesn't that look fun? Wiki Yammer groups, like that sounds really fun. And then you can also search help questions, and this will give you individual search, individual answers to the questions that you might have if you're contributing. So you never have to feel like you're lost or like you're going to wreck something or whatever. Just find somebody to help you, and they will help you. So you can actually even get a mentor who's really good at this and can kind of walk you through it if you need help. At the bottom of that help page, and in fact, other help pages as well, you'll find this little box here. It's called Contributor Help. This is actually not just that, it's not just for contributors. Personally, I think just about anybody can use the Getting Started one or the Browsing the Wiki one. The other ones are pretty much for contributors though, but yeah, those help colon pages, those filter pages, they always have these boxes at the bottom. There's another one that's kind of useful. It's called FamilySearch Wiki. This is more useful for people who are going to be contributing. So you can use it to search these two basic things. FamilySearch Wiki, FamilySearch Research Wiki, that gives you an overview of the wiki and it gives you some links of how to contribute. You can also search FamilySearch Wiki purpose, policies, and procedures, just so you know what the regulations and administrative policies are. If you're going to be a contributor, you want to know that. It's pretty important. If you're a contributor, you can contact the FamilySearch help desk during business hours, as I said before, at the FamilySearch Library in Salt Lake City. You'll go to the help on the main, at the top of any page actually, and it's that question mark with help. So you click on that help and then it'll say contact us under the main help. That main help, it'll come up with that page that always comes up when you click on that. But you go down to the bottom and it says contact us, click on that. It'll tell you, you have to search all the way down to the library that you want to look at, which will be the Salt Lake City one. And then you can call them on the telephone. There's also the community project meeting that you can search for. There's mentors you can search for personalized training. In other words, like I say, people that already know what they're doing. Search for known issues so that you can already kind of figure out what problems there are as an editor. And if you come up with an idea and somebody else doesn't agree with your idea, you can have a dispute resolution page even to kind of help you figure things out, how to solve problems. Okay, so now for some fun. There's some really cool pages I found on the Research Wiki, just clicking around and having fun. And I just thought some of them just needed to be shared. So these are just some things to share. This one's kind of funny. This one's under fraudulent genealogies. Can I trace genealogy back to Adam and Eve? And the answer is yes and no. There's no proven pedigree documenting lineage back to Adam and Eve. And it's funny because I remember just after we were married, my grandmother-in-law gave my husband her genealogy all the way back to Adam and Eve. And we were both classicists, so we looked at it and we saw all these classical names of people that were probably legendary and may never have even lived on that list. So it was pretty fun. But anyway, I thought this was a funny page, just interesting. This is also another one that's kind of fun. This is Edward's Millions. If you're Welsh or have Welsh ancestry, which I do, I thought this was great. So there's a legend that there's 77 acres of land in New York under the stock exchange in the World Trade Center. And there's a legend that it was left to this family of Robert Edwards. And apparently there have been hundreds of people over the centuries who've tried very hard to find this $650 billion of worth of fortune that could be had if you can prove that you're Robert Edwards' descendant. Okay, these are some useful things though that I think you will actually really like. So this is under birth and death date calculators. There's a list of calculators that you can use in genealogy, and these are really cool, and I use them a lot actually, especially the date calculator. I use that a lot. On some census records or death records especially, or military records, they'll put down their age, not the day they were born, but actually the year, how many months old and how many days old they are. So this kind of is helpful to figure things like that out. These are really fun too. Personal names, a lot of the pages, almost all the pages have a personal names category that you can click on that'll take you to their personal names, and that's so helpful to figure out how the names changed and how people use their names in different countries. So I would really suggest that you do that, look at the personal names category. Also distribution maps are really helpful because if you're looking in a place where there are just very, very few of that particular surname, it'll either be easier for you to find or it'll be impossible for you to find that surname if there's nobody there from that with that surname. And this one's good, list of extinct states, because as geography has changed, you find a lot of different countries have different names. These are fun. The National Institute's done this calendar changes because, of course, in the West, we had the Julian and the Gregorian calendars. and they're different by 11 days. So that can be actually really useful if you're doing some research that's back in the early times, especially before 1700s. And then there's a lot of indigenous pages about indigenous peoples in the United States. You can see the indigenous peoples of the United States. That's an actual category, and you can find them. There's a lot of information too about African Americans. So African Americans, this one's the Freedmen's Bureau. And then there's the FamilySearch Wiki. This is under that category. That filter term, FamilySearch Wiki, non-English versions of the wiki. So this tells you which languages the wiki can be found in. So that's kind of nice if you're better in Russian than you are in English. These are just a few more. So there's spelling substitution tables for the United States and Canada. When people came to the United States, they would sometimes accidentally or on purpose have their names changed. How to guess where to start. I refer people to this a lot because sometimes you just plain have to guess, and this helps you learn how to do that. I thought the Chinese census page was really interesting to look at and read. There's a guide to printing your family history. And there's this one, the community center. So this is, again, for contributors to a certain extent, but there's also information there about how to contribute, how to volunteer, and so on. So that's a really good page to look at as well. So as you can see, once again, I hope we've come to the conclusion that the Research Wiki is pretty amazing and wonderful, and it's just a tool that is indispensable to genealogists. So my advice is don't let it go to waste. Click around in it, find just interesting things, find things that will be helpful for you personally and in your genealogy search. And don't give up, have fun. And that's it. Thanks.
So we have a question that says, where do we find a recording of this presentation? It will be on our Sunday Archive page. It will probably take a week to 10 days to get it up, but come back. I'm going to stop the recording, and then if you have other questions, please